Good morning, everybody. My name is Felipe Martinez, and I am with Rapatoni Corporation. Today, we have scheduled the MLS parcel mapping overview. What we're going to be doing today is reviewing up at the very top over Maps, Map Explorer. We're going to get into the parcel mapping, any new updates you've received, any new layers, and show you how to utilize the, the layers that just were released for your parcel mapping. Now, you can ask questions. If you can go down here into your little questions chat box here on your GoToMeeting toolbox, I will get to all the questions as soon as possible. Please feel free to ask any questions and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Go ahead and minimize this. All right, so for parcel mapping, let's go ahead and go up to the Maps and then Map Explorer. And I'm just going to open up this map all the way. So a few things here with the Map Explorer. Now the Map Explorer on the right-hand side, there are certain counties that contain different layers. Now for parcel mapping, for Jackson, Leno, Livingston, Monroe, and Washtenaw, you do have parcel mapping, but the thing to keep in mind here on the right-hand side, whenever you're looking at the Map Explorer, anything that you see grayed out, for instance here, this parcels, I cannot select this layer here because it is grayed out. So what that means is that I have to zoom in either by scrolling in with the mouse, or you can use the plus and minus symbols here at the top left of the Map Explorer, and you can just scroll in until that layer becomes available. Still grayed out, there we go. So now once that layer becomes available, you can select it. And here is the layer for parcels. Now again, that is depending on your zoom level. So if I go ahead and zoom out a little bit more here, just that tiny little bit took this parcel away, so now I cannot select it. Now let me go ahead and scroll out a little bit more here. Okay, so there are quite a few features here in the Map Explorer. For instance, your new parcels and your MLS area, or your areas. So if I just select left click on the MLS areas checkbox, it's going to display all the MLS areas for the map view you're on. And then if you just left click into one of the areas, it gives you a brief description of that area. And you'll see that kind of being the pretty much the same thing, or the same thing we do here in the Map Explorer, is just you left click on a piece of information, an icon, a map pin, and then that information opens up and gives you additional info regarding that layer. And you can have multiple layers opened at one time. So if I zoom in a little bit more, we'll zoom in once more. Just want to get this little parcels layer opened up. There we go. Then if I select parcels, you now have the areas and parcels to select from. Now just to make it a little bit easier on the eyes, I'm going to uncheck MLS areas. So that takes away the areas layer. And if I want to take a look at more information on this parcel specifically, here if I just hover over it, it gives me the owner information, the site address. Then by left clicking, you have more info, the site address, the mailing address, tax information, and property reports. So let's go ahead and see if we can access the tax information from Realist here. I'll left click on the tax information. Okay, so for that one there was no properties found. Go ahead and find you a good one here. All right, we'll left click on the parcel info. We'll hit the tax information, and then it takes us directly to the Realist tax information. And from here, you still have the same functionality. You can launch Realist directly from here, find some comparables, take a look at the market trends or the neighborhood information. And this is all the tax information from Realist, including the last market sales and history and mortgage history information. Let me just go ahead and open up the question box here just to make sure I don't have any questions. Okay. And again, if you do have questions, please type in your questions into this question chat box and I'll get to them as soon as possible. So that was MLS areas and parcels. And then you also have additional information under the parcel details, including the size, approximate acres, the address, the dimensions in feet. Go ahead and uncheck those. And in addition to all that, you also have current MLS listings. So if we select the listings here, this little yellow icon pops up. So what it's saying is that in the map view you're on, there is one listing here that is actually on the market. If I left click on it, it gives me all the snapshot of the information. You can access the listing detail in the MLS directly from here, the tax information, or even add this listing to one of your carts or an existing prospect cart or a new cart if you'd like. And then it also represents the parcel outlines for current listings in the location, including my office listings if I had any, and along with my company listings, any pending listings, open houses within the next 14 days, and any listings that were rented. Go ahead and uncheck those. And then coming on down here, you also have expired MLS listings. So here, the past 30 days, past 31 to 90 days, and then the past 3 to 12 months. Here we have one that expired past 3 to 12 months. So if you hover over it, it'll give you some brief information about this property. And then if you left click, it'll give you additional information about the property, and you can even access it in the MLS by left clicking on the listing number hyperlink. Okay, let me go ahead and scroll back up here. Now I'm going to uncheck these expired MLS listing markers. And just real quick, what I wanted to show you is a neat trick that a lot of people don't really know about the parcel details and the parcel information. So let's say you have a property here in this central location, but you want to print out all the labels, or you want all the information on the surrounding houses or the parcels surrounding it. What you can do is you can left or hold your control key on the keyboard, left click, and select any of the parcels you'd like. And then what it does is adds all your parcels that you have selected here on the selected parcel section, and you can easily, by left clicking print labels, print out some labels if you'd like, letting them know, hey, there's an open house near your area, or for whatever reason you'd like. You can select as many parcels as you'd like and print the labels for those parcels. Then we'll go ahead and go back to Maps, Map Explorer. Let me just check to see if there's any questions here. Okay, we're good. And we'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit more here. So what we just covered was MLS areas, the parcels, being able to print layers or labels off the parcels, selecting multiple parcels, viewing current listings in the MLS, expired listings, and now let's take a look at the off-market MLS listings. So this layer here, off-market MLS listings, this will show you all the off-market listings in the MLS within the past year. So here, this will give you the yellow diamond, all the temporary off-markets within the past year. And then the red diamond is going to be all the withdrawns within the past year. So if I zoom out a little bit, here you can see the withdrawn. So if you hover over it and then left click, it'll give you additional information. And same with the temp off market. Give you additional information once you left click, and you can always go to that listing simply by left clicking on the listing number hyperlink. So we'll go ahead and uncheck those, and then we'll move on to the MLS listed sales. Now, With MLS, you have two different layers here. You have MLS listed sales, and then right below that you have county recorded sales. And for here, you have past the 0 to 6 months for MLS listed, and then going on down, you also have past 0 to 6 months for county recorded sales. So if they weren't in the MLS and were recorded just through the county, this is where those listings will be represented. And it goes all the way up to 25 to 36 months. And you have those options for both listed in the MLS and county recorded sales. And of course, if you left click on those properties, it'll give you the tax information, the listing information, whether it was in the MLS or not. It'll always give you the information of that property by left clicking or hovering over the pin. Let me go ahead and uncheck those. Now let's go ahead and scroll on down here. So there is one brand new layer that I want to show you, trustee auctions. So one thing to keep in mind is that the notice of default layer is no longer in the MLS because there is, in the state of Michigan, it's no longer required to have or send out a notice of layer, or a notice of default letter. So there's no longer information that we could put on here to show you those types of layers or that kind of data. But we do have the NOT, which are the notice of trustee sales, and this layer will be located here, trustee auctions. Now, for example, let me go ahead and pull up this directions and routing. So if I left click on directions and routing, I just want to pull up an address so I could show you. The very bottom, if you already have your address in here, any of your home or office info, you will have a drop down so you could select those automatically. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in 8442 Barrington Drive. I'm going to hit enter, see if I get any results here. Excellent. So then up here, I'm just going to left click on this property address I just entered. It'll take me directly there. Okay, now what I want to show you is I'm going to go back to the map layers. So I'm going all the way down at the bottom and selecting map layers. Now I want to turn on this trustee auction so I could show you. Now this is a notice of trustee sale. Here it gives you the brief information. By left clicking on it, it'll give you the auction info, the site location, the trustee if there is any. You can run a report, tax information, and go to the countrywide trustee sales info. So this is a great new layer that was just released. It's really neat and really nice. I'm going to close that out and let's see if we have any questions. Excellent. All right, so that was the trustee auctions new layer. And then right below that, we have school information. So let me go ahead and left click on the schools. I'll zoom out a little bit to get a few more results here. And here you can see that we have a blue star representing the school. So I'll go ahead and hover over it and then left click. And right in here, what's really neat about this is it takes you directly to the website to take a look at the grade or the rating that this school has. So let me go ahead and left click on school grades report. And that one is not in the system for school grades. Let me see if we can find another one. Here we go. Oh. I promise I'll find you one here. There we go. Excellent. So if you scroll on down here, it gives you the information of that school, the school grades website, and any other information that you might want to look up for that specific school. And it does link directly to the school grades website. So if that information isn't there just yet, that's why you might see the page coming up saying that there's no results. In addition to that school layer, you also have school districts. So if I left click on the school districts layer, and then here I could zoom out a little bit more. And then here it gives you the Ann Arbor Public Schools. So if you left click here, it'll just give you brief information about that school district. And then you could move left to right, up, down to take a look at the other school districts nearby. So we'll uncheck all the school and school district info. And now I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here. And then we're going to get into the general information layers. So you also have city boundaries, which is really neat. So once you select city boundaries, I will zoom in a little bit more. Toggle to the right. Here it'll give you the city boundaries by longitude and latitude. So everything's based off longitude and latitude here. You also have the community and townships. If you hover over them, it'll give you the information of that community and township. Now let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more. Then you also have the MDOT carpool lots. If you select it, it'll give you the carpool lots here. I wasn't able to find any to show you. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more. Some more great information that you have here is the FEMA flood zone. So if you select NFHL flood data, here it'll give you all the information on the flood data or the flood zones that is available on the Map Explorer. So if I were to hover over, let's say this area here and left click, if you select the FEMA flood zone definitions, it'll take you to the FEMA website and the definitions of the flood zone so you could get more information on what exactly the information means here. You also have a wetlands layer. So if you left click on the wetlands, it'll give you all the information on the type of wetlands here. Here's a freshwater, forest, shrub wetland. Going over here, you have a lake. Next one is the subdivisions. Here it gives you the information on the specific subdivisions in the area. They're all outlined and colored accordingly. You also have zoning information. Here's all the zoning information. And let's zoom in a tiny bit more here. We have one more layer, the land use. All right, there we go. And here it gives you all the information on what kind of land use this property is, or this parcel. Then scrolling down, we have additional layers under the City of Ann Arbor. So let's left click on the Greenbelt properties, and we'll zoom out a little bit more. Zoom out more here. And here are your Greenbelt properties. Now, if you want to take a look and see if there's any existing or current listings available in those properties, what you can do is go up to the current MLS listings here, left click this yellow dot, and this will show you all the active listings in the area. So you could figure out which ones are actually in the Greenbelt. We'll scroll down. All right, then let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more. We have some more layer options open up to us. Okay, and again, this is going to show us the land use. The zoning. And unimproved parcels. Let's see if we can find some here. Doesn't look like there's any here in my map. So we'll zoom in a little bit more. Future land use. Let's take a look at this one. So here's just telling you the future land use, single and two family, multiple family. We also have building footprints. And then last but not least are all your points of interest down here. So you do have your fire protection, colleges, airports, hospitals, police, restaurants, etc. So as you can see, if you haven't had a chance to play with the layers or the Map Explorer just yet, there is a lot of information in here that's really great to utilize in the MLS and is really beneficial. So if you haven't had a chance, please, I encourage you to go in here, take about 10 to 15 minutes and take a look at all the information that the MLS has provided to you at the tip of a finger, pretty much. Now, that covers the layers now, but just one more thing I wanted to show you is the actual directions and routing here. So let me go ahead and go up to the, I'm just going to open up some current MLS listings. And right here, for instance, let's say that I like this house here, or I want to take one of my clients to go take a look at it. So I could right-click and hit Add to Route. Now it's adding that property here. This is the first one I entered in the demo, and then here's the one I just added. So then I could go over to any other that I'd like, Add to Route, and we'll just go up here at the very top. Add to Route, and then up here you have this little checkbox, Display Routing Map. So I'll left click on Display Routing Map, and at the very bottom left corner you have the little arrows to expand. So this is going to show you exactly how your route will look like if you were to take off this way. But the great thing about this directions and routing is if you left click and hold, just drag and hold one of the addresses, you can move it to the location you'd like. Say if that route makes more sense, I'll left click, move it up, and then it'll reroute your directions right on the fly for you. Now once you're happy with the map, once you're happy with your directions and routing, you just go up to Map Report, left click Map Report. Oops, got my pop-up blockers. All right, there we go. And then this is going to print out turn-by-turn directions from A to B, C to B, on all the properties that you added to your route. And you could take this with you on the fly or on the go to show all these properties. Let me go ahead and see if there's any questions here. Alrighty. So we do have a question, Ginger. The trustee auction says upcoming. Does that mean that soon you won't need to type an address to see trustee listings? No, what upcoming means is that it means that the trustee or the trustee sale is upcoming, so it's about to be here. Pretty much, it's the reason that I typed in the address to find that trustee is because I wanted to pretty much take us there, center us there instead of having to go and look for one to show you during the webinar. But you do not need to type in an address in order to find trustee listings for that layer. All you really have to do is select the layer, and all those trustee listings will display on the map. Okay, what was the last click that gets you route directions? Okay, not a problem. Let me go ahead and put that one here. All right, so to get into directions and routing, you're going to start with your map layers. So in order to get to directions and routing, you just left click on this directions and routing section. And then in here, you find the properties or addresses that you'd like, and you right click, hit add to route, etc. And once you're done, it's going to have all your addresses on the right-hand side here under directions and routing. And all you have to do from there to print it out is left click on this map report button at the very top, and you're all set. Okay. Is there a way to link the mapped listings report to our phones or GPS? Pat, unfortunately, there's not. Not today. There will be, and once we get everything transitioned over to Google Mapping, it's fairly brand new, but we do have that integration into the works. It's just not with the map report. Now that really about covers everything I had planned to discuss on parcel mapping. But if there's any questions that anybody has, maybe something I didn't cover about parcel mapping, please let me know, type in your questions, and I'll stay on for about 5 to 10 minutes and make sure we get those all taken care of. But thank you all very much. I really appreciate your time. It was a pleasure, and I hope you have a great day.